Welcome back. It's called VORTEX 2, a team of scientists hoping to be within striking distance of a tornado outbreak so they can gather important data and learn more about tornadoes and how they behave and form. Joining us via Skype this morning is meteorologist Nick Bender, who is embedded with the fleet. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Alan. Obviously, we're inside our hotel room right now. Operations don't really begin until the 10:30 briefing later on this morning. Yesterday was really just a day of gathering. We've been embedded with the Center for Severe Weather Research part of this group, and we've been traveling anywhere from eastern Oklahoma up into Kansas, down into western Oklahoma in search of storms. Haven't found any storms, really. We had a weak thunderstorm we drove through yesterday, and our track back in to the Sooner State with some rain, a little bit of thunder, and semi-gusty winds, wind gusts up to about 30 miles per hour. Well, we are in search of just that. We're in search of tornadoes, and really the forecast for the rest of the week for the Plain States doesn't look that favorable for tornadoes. However, that's not stopping the crew from staying busy with their equipment. They have a plethora of gear up here because yesterday the crew from Norman, the final part of this crew, drove on into northern western parts of the state. So our group of 30 became a group of at least 100 strong, possibly 150, and the equipment almost doubled or tripled. So we have about 35 pieces of mobile equipment up here, from the dowels, which are the Doppler on wheels, to the unmanned aerial vehicles, or the unmanned air vehicles, and to mobile mesonet sites. So we have a lot of gear up here, and that gear needs maintenance, and they're doing it round the clock to make sure that it's in tip-top shape, because as I'm sure you know, the patterns over the next week or two doesn't look extremely favorable for the month of May, so they may only get one or two opportunities to bag the tornado that they are in search for.
Nick, what's the best case scenario right now that the scientists and researchers are hoping for? I mean, obviously, no one wants to see a large, devastating tornado near a population base. They would want to get a tornado, I would assume, in the middle of, rural areas that would not cause that damage. But I also read somewhere, you correct me if I'm wrong, but researchers also want to know why some storms produce tornadoes and why some don't produce tornadoes. So just because they don't see a tornado, they still could count that as a success. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. It is a kind of a catch-22. We're hoping for tornadoes because we need them so that we can document their life cycle from start to finish with all these very high-resolution radars that can scan the entire storm in just a matter of seconds and really see what's going on continuously, as opposed to several minutes with fixed radar sites, which is what we're dealing with that are in place across the country, as opposed to these mobile radar sites. So we're hoping for tornadoes, but we're hoping that they take place out in the countryside, away from any farmland, away from any cities, like the tornado they bagged last June with the first phase of VORTEX 2 that was in eastern Wyoming. We're hoping for a situation just like that. But it doesn't mean that because we're not getting tornadoes, we're not learning something about the storms, because, as you know, many supercells, or many storms that rotate and have that mesocyclone and they produce the wall cloud, don't go on to produce tornadoes. We want to know why that is, and that's what we're hoping to accomplish out here with VORTEX 2.
Okay, Nick, definitely appreciate it. Again, Nick Bender is embedded with VORTEX 2 somewhere in the Great Plains, and he'll be driving again today. We'll catch the update. Nick, appreciate it. Stay